Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host Matt Marrero along with the other host,
Tristan Walter.
And Tristan, we're back in the world of Jurassic. We're back here after doing, we kind of got a little sidetracked with live action anime adaptations and Cloverfield, still giant monsters in theory, but dinosaurs are quote unquote real. Not these dinosaurs though, because these dinosaurs are weird hybrids, but you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, who's not a hybrid at this point?
Is this like a homunculi reference or something? You want me to say Edward? I don't know what you want from me.
Machines, biology, yeah, it's all going to happen at some point. At some point, movies are just, they're all going to converge. We're going to have Jurassic Park, we're going to have Terminator, and we're going to have Star Wars, and it's all going to be one giant monstrosity.
I thought you were like, we're going to be the movies. It's like, yeah, part Jurassic Park, part Star Wars. That's you, actually, in a nutshell.
He's not wrong.
I think I just looked into your DNA. I think I'm Wong. I'm Dr. Wong. I just looked right into your DNA.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
I'm like, he's half Star Wars. He was half Star Wars and half Jurassic Park. What happened? We added in Samurai Jack.
Well,
oh, no. But
yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that, Tristan. We've ruined your DNA. Or made it better. I don't know which. Anyway.
Yes.
So, yes. That's all that matters. Yes. So, today we're talking about Jurassic World. I was severely underwhelmed, but it is not the worst Jurassic Park movie. And also, if we're just counting it as a Jurassic World movie, as of this point, as of this podcast recording, it is actually the best Jurassic World movie out there. Out of all the Jurassic World movie that is currently out, it's the best. So I think it has that going for it. If there was an award category for the best Jurassic World movie right now, and the awards went up right now, this would win. It would. Out of all the Jurassic World movie, it would win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now here's the thing. I'm sorry, I'm a piece of shit. But here's the thing, though. So this movie isn't, all jokes aside, right? It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not even the worst Jurassic Park I think we've ever seen and talked about on the show. It's just, I wanted to learn more about these characters, and I think more importantly, I wanted to learn a little bit more about the dinosaurs. And I feel like we got a lack of both. And I don't mean dinosaurs as in not seeing them attack and go, and destroy the park, because we obviously saw that. I mean learning more about why the fuck did this even happen again? Because that's the thing, too, by the way. We're just supposed to accept that, like, apparently in their world, which granted, I guess if you want to bring, I seems like, even though I don't know much about the second movie, just from the trailer alone, and I'm not going to spoil anything, it seems like we might be getting some more Congress involved in this and some more government involved, because my thought is, how is there not government regulation after the first 3 movies?
True. Gasp.
I don't
want government. I don't want big government in my dinosaurs.
I think people would. I think people would.
No, at this point,
I think that's like even before the one thing. That's the one thing. No. But by the first movie, everyone, maybe like the second movie, at least everyone's like, yeah, no, I think we're good here. Like,
well, I think we don't
need any more.
At least by the third, they're like, yeah, this island is quarantined. Like, no one is allowed near these islands.
Yeah. But that's the thing. At least the third movie, it was relegated to an island. After the second movie, it's just like this came to L.A. So we're not sending people to this anymore. And sure, you could argue,
and no one is making any more dinosaurs.
Yeah, the one thing I want to say that I really loved about this movie, the one thing that I really loved is when it came to, I know like it might seem silly to some of us, like really the teenager is just so like not giving a shit about dinosaurs. But I have to say though, the way they make this, the way they make the theme park, blah, 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 I need a drink of water. The way the theme park is set up, right, it's already been active for so long that seemingly it makes it seem like dinosaurs have now become a part of daily life in a sense. So it really
Right.
is like a petting zoo to this, teenager who sure is being angsty anyway, but is also
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I've...
he's an angsty teen. Like, okay, duh. That's of course
But
he's
even
gonna act
then,
aloof
though...
until he actually looks up and sees it. Like, oh wait, that thing's fucking amazing. You know?
But even then, though, I feel like an angsty teen in one of the first 3 movies would be like, no, this is fucking nuts, because they hadn't... Like, at this point, the first 3 movies happened in their world, so they're kind of used to dinosaurs, in a way. Especially with a theme park that is actually doing good numbers. So people are going to it. This is... think about it. This isn't the first day it opened. This is a random day.
True.
That this shit happened. So in a way, I like that it seems as if, because I will admit, if it was the first day, I'd be like, all right, this is, I would have really hated the movie, because it's like, really, you're going to do it on the first day? Like, no, you actually normalize it. You make them think they're under control.
Right.
And then sure, they did the stupid thing that you and I are like, this isn't even funny, but we can't even make jokes about this. This is just something that, if we didn't like Jurassic Park, we would shut it off. Like, if we didn't like Jurassic Park and we just heard, everything's under control, until we made the Super Satan Beast. It's like, all right, am I watching an anime or what? No, that's basically what he's basically, the dinosaur is really like an anime villain in like a giant mech anime. Like, that's basically what he is. He's like half Satan, half Tyrannosaur.
I'd watch Jurassic Park, the anime.
I also would too. I should probably, I should make that known. I would. But you see what I mean, though, right? Like, they made it, like, with what they, though that was the worst thing. Like, the whole, like, oh, and now we make the Super Beast. Still, though, I do enjoy, despite me, I'm going to sound like I'm ragging on the entire movie throughout this podcast, but I want to say that the one thing that I really do appreciate, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it, is the fact that they didn't do it on the first day. They let them become complacent because things were actually working out well. Right.
Well, it's the only plot line that we haven't seen. It's like, we get the first one. It's like the park opens but fails because, stuff goes horribly wrong and they realize maybe this wasn't such a great idea. Second one, people are trying to take dinosaurs off the island and bring them back. Well, the park didn't work. Well, maybe we can just control one if we put it in a park in L.A. And we realized that wasn't a good idea either. Then the third one, well, we just stumbled across the island now, and now people are trying to get the hell out. And then the fourth one is finally, well, the park actually worked this time. But now things are going to shit again.
Yes. And one thing I also enjoy, too, is that this movie is obviously shitting on capitalism. And granted, I like capitalism. It's corporatism that I kind of feel awkward about, but I do like that the movie is trying to, punch up and kind of beat up the system. What do I mean by that, Tristan? This movie literally had them say things like, oh, well, first off, obviously treating the animals, because they are still animals despite the fact that they could kill us. Like, tigers can kill us
with
too,
respect.
But we don't fucking... not treating the animals with respect and calling them, what do they call them again? The assets, thank you. That's the first thing. Also, basically saying we need bigger and better things to get these people in. We need to think about operating costs. So we need to make something that literally, we have the foreign investor basically just not having a care in the world. All he cares about is, hey, I want to make a cool thing that people can come and see, not really understanding. The scientists are like, when you say cool thing, do you mean like can kill everything or it, is neon? Like, what I'm saying? Like, do you mean like carnivorous or that it glows in the dark? Because we can do glow in the dark.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. They do the bigger and scarier and everything is what brings in the money. So when they say make a bigger one, a scarier one, so it's like obviously you're talking about a predator. So no, that's not what I meant at all. You need to be more clear.
Yes. No,
not you.
That's the thing, though. When it's a
movie-wise.
No. You're right, though. Yeah, I know. Like you're making the conversation up, but that's the thing. So it's very much like a pro-green Earth kind of anti-capitalist thing. But then it gets into really weird money territory later that I'll just discuss even right now. I'm never a big fan of when the quote-unquote villain comes up with an idea, and everyone's like, "You're stupid, and we don't like you." But man, are your ideas amazing. Like, bad guys can come up with good ideas, yes. Like, not every, like, not, like, if a person who's like, I kill people, said, I like puppies, I wouldn't be like, we have to disagree with that man. We must hate puppies now. Like, not every bad person has, considerably bad ideas, right? But the idea that we have the guy working with InGen, we find out he's working with them at the end, and he's working with Wong. Yeah, thank you. He's working with Wong. We find out, like, oh, he's so terrible. But apparently his raptor idea was amazing. It's kind of weird. Where it's like,
I wouldn't.
Well,
agree
his raptor
that's
idea
an
worked.
Idea, but
no, but
yeah.
But what else did we have? What else could we have done? They shot RPGs at it, and it did nothing.
The one missile you had, you missed.
But it hit close enough that it still got up.
Yeah. It might, it hurt it or stunned it a bit, but like it didn't do the job it was meant to do. Obviously, you couldn't have the RPG be the end of the movie, but like I just laughed so hard when the guy, I'm like, and you fucking missed.
But it's so funny though, because it's not like he missed far enough that like it's like, oh no, it of course it stunned it. No, it hit still close enough that it should have at least wounded its hide, but it did not. That's how strong it was. It hit real close. I mean, the trees surrounding it were fucked. It basically, he cleared a path. It was like, thanks for getting rid of the traffic, bro.
Yeah, pretty much.
He cleared a path for him to walk away for the dinosaur. But my point is that you have him being like, oh, we have to bring in the raptors. That's a terrible idea. How dare you? You're a sick man. I'm going to punch you in the face because you're a terrible human being. Well, we're going to do it either way. Which, I mean, yeah, that can't, again, that's the idea. We're going to do it no matter what, so you might as well do it with you at the helm. But the idea is that even though it seemed like it didn't work at first, it did, though. And I know the idea is, no, but it worked because of the love that the main character, shared and the bond that he made with Blue and the other raptors. But, or at least, mostly Blue, though, but the other raptors as well. But the problem is, though, is that, again, that was the whole plan. Yeah, we're going to bring you in because you made a bond with them. So really, the bad guy wasn't wrong.
I mean,
sure, the super soldier thing is fucking terrible. No, that's terrible.
That's the thing, though. He's doing it for all the wrong reasons, though. Like, yes,
Fair.
the idea is the only thing they have left at that point. And it's like, well, yeah, I guess we're going to have to do this. And it is crazy, but it's just crazy enough to work. But he's trying to implement it for all the wrong reasons, saying, oh, it's going to work because of this, that, and the other thing. It's like, no, it's not.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so I never thought it wouldn't work. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying, though, that the movie's treating it kind of like we must hate him and that idea. That's the thing. We must hate the idea along with him. That's what the movie made me think. Like, the movie didn't make me think, like, wow, you're a terrible person. But you know what? These raptors fighting it, it's the only chance we've got, Captain. Like, that was never really on the table. It was kind of like, well, I'm going to do it because you're going to do it without me, so I don't have to do it with you. But I still don't like it. And it's like, wait, why don't we like the idea?
Well, I mean, because the idea is if this works and he gets his way, then he's going to implement it in all the crazy shit that he's talking about at the beginning of the movie. Like, oh, we can use them, instead of drones, they'll be the future of the military. And it's like, you're insane.
Fair. That's fair. Okay, that is fair, too, yeah. But
and it's the idea that, like the way he talks, it's like, oh, we can control them. It's like, you're an idiot. This is a wild animal.
Which is true.
If you think you can control this thing, then I've got a house in, freaking Atlantis to sell to you. Which,
to be fair, the assistant was trying to go to her summer home in Atlantis, but that damn dinosaur ate her up before she. By the way,
No. Sorry. No,
I was very upset.
Wait. That's a marine going reptile. Okay, continue.
Okay. I was very upset with that scene, and let me explain why.
Yeah.
Because it's not even like it was, okay, because here's the thing, right? Let me explain something to you, Tristan. I'm coming from a background where I have no problem with people's guts being ripped out by zombies and not even, like, granted, I do have a problem, like, it stings. It's like, ooh, God. But I don't even consider it necessarily gratuitous because that's what I expect in a zombie movie. When I go see Jurassic Park, I expect someone to be ripped apart, maybe to see an arm, maybe see a head. I expect some blood, too. So when, I always forget his name, but when he died, when he got munched on before he talked about his supermaster plan, like, he talked about his plan, but, like, I feel like he could have done more, and then the raptor eats him. He's like, hey, I got you, and he's like, nah, dude. And there was blood. I'm okay with that. It's not, yeah, glorious. It really was.
It was so
I don't have a problem with the blood. My problem is the way that they played with her, I don't really see a need for it, and sure, they might go, but that made it scary. But the rest of the movie was, like, I'd rather you spread out the scariness and make it terrifying in other ways, like when you have, like, it's kind of funny, because when the big dinosaur, like I don't remember its name, what do they call it?
The Indominus?
The really shitty name? Oh, thank you, because I thought of it as the Verizon Presents. I still think of it as that.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. Verizon Wireless presents the Indominus Rex. And he's like,
Indominus,
can we not?
Yes. Can we just, are we going to let them name them now? But no, so.
I love that guy.
Which, you know what's really,
Larry.
You know what's really funny, though?
Great.
But here's what I really love. Verizon paid, in a meta way, Verizon paid for the rights to be in the movie.
True.
Because they can't just name drop Verizon like that. So Verizon and other cable companies probably put money into being the one that would have that joke in the movie. That's a super fucking meta way to have product placement, dude.
I wonder, does that mean Verizon is funding InGen?
I don't think they go that far. Yeah, right?
Yeah, no.
Wait,
like,
no.
How funny? We just made the dinosaur.
What is, I always forget, I forgot his name because we didn't hear it much, or at least I feel like I didn't hear it much. Who's Chris? I call him Chris Pratt, but who is his actual character's name? What is his actual? Owen. Okay, but what was she calling him, Mr.?
His last name.
Yeah.
Benowit? I forget.
Okay. No, but anyway, but there is, so with Owen, right? It's like, is Verizon funding InGen? Owen's like, I don't know, but my internet's really fucked up right now. It's like,
oh my God,
this all makes sense. But anyway, but in all seriousness, please don't shut us down. And please have our internet running smoothly. But what matters is, all jokes aside, right? The Indominus, when it tried to eat them near the truck or near the Jeep, and I was like, oh, I have to admit, I said out loud, see, this is why raptors are better, because they can get into small places. Boom, it rips the fucking roof off. I was like, never mind. We're good here. I was wrong, right? So to be fair, I was like, never mind, I'm terrified. So yes, those little parts are nice. But I don't see why they needed to do that to the assistant, and it felt very strange because it just felt like one of the, like, because, like, again, when I see something, let's say, like Ash vs. Evil Dead or like an 80s horror movie, my thought is, oh, the girl is going to die and it's not going to look pretty because it's a slasher movie and you have that in your head as a trope. In a movie like this, I don't know why, it's just something I didn't expect and something I wasn't a fan of, and then the kids have to see it, which, I mean, to be fair, yeah, sure, kids in the first three movies fucking, it's not like they're doing any better, to be fair, but it's, I don't know, for some reason.
Remember,
like, I'm sure they
parents, don't let your kids wander around the park. Why? Because they'll get lost? No, because you'll get eaten. Wait, what? Nothing.
Can you imagine the girl from the first movie is just a therapist now and is dealing with the kids?
Oh my God.
Wouldn't that be amazing? It's like, we're here because our parents are getting divorced. Oh, yes, that is what I've been trained in. And also, a dinosaur ate our aunt's assistant. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh, my gosh.
You've got to be fucking
she's just like, you guys too, huh?
Well, that's...
Jurassic Park Survivors Anonymous.
Basically, right? Just, oh, God. But yeah, so my whole thing is, it didn't... Yeah, no, I mean, at this point you can have one. The moderator can literally be any kid from the first three movies. Like, it's been 20 years. But seriously though, Tristan, I just personally am not a big fan of that scene. And I don't know why. It's not like I can't take worse. I think it's just not fun to see a person played with as prey when they did nothing wrong, which I know earlier in I think it was the third movie when I was saying, it was the second movie, where I was saying, hey, I feel weird when mercenaries die because we're supposed to be not enjoying the deaths, right? So, yeah, I'm not saying I wanted to see someone die make me go, yeah, cool, because, again, that's the whole point. Like, you don't want to see these people die. But I just don't get why it was so gratuitous. Like, it felt like it was indulging in itself. And I feel so stupid using words like that, because usually our reviews are very light and aren't really like that in depth. But it just didn't, I don't know, something didn't sit well with it. And I don't know what it is in particular, but it just didn't sit well with me. I think maybe because she was untrained, maybe because it wasn't, like, part of her job description.
Yeah. You know what made me laugh about that scene, though?
What?
The fact that basically all the pterosaurs are going crazy and attacking people. Meanwhile, the kids are watching this whole thing unfold in the middle of a running crowd, and the pterosaurs attacking people. Not once are they knocked over or attacked or anything, and they just watch this whole scene, flashes back to them, flashes back to her, and then they look at each other. We need to get out of here. It's like, okay.
Yes. You know what? And, okay, so that I'll give to you as well. Maybe that's another reason why it feels a little unsettling, because it didn't feel real, quote-unquote. That's why, okay, thank you. You've made me realize. That's why it took me out of the movie. It makes me feel unsettled in a different way. Because it makes me feel that way because of the fact that it's not as if, it's not as if I can sit back and go, oh, no, this is happening in the movie. No, it's because everything else slowed down just for us to see this really fucking intricate death scene that I admit, though, it's cool to see essentially a sea monster swallow up a fucking not pterodactyl. That's awesome. I don't know the names. That's awesome to me. Thank you.
The marine reptile,
which one is? The reptile is called what? Moses or it's Moes?
No, Mosasaur.
So literally the one that's in the sea and it's technically parting the sea is called a Mosasaur. Oh
my God.
Or it sounds like it. When you pronounce it that way, I hear Moses, and I think you're saying Moes, but it sounds like Moses, and I'm like, yes. It has a beard and everything.
Oh my God.
It's holding a tablet. But anyway, but seriously though, I don't know, that scene really didn't do anything for me, like in terms of making me go like, whoa, it's so cool. Because again, that's not what I expect here. I expect that to be in a movie where, you see the girl like tripping over herself, and then the dude that's chasing her was, 10 city blocks away, New York City blocks, but somehow he's then right behind her without running.
Right.
It's that level of shit that I'm like, oh no. But here it's just like, oh, because in a weird way, I guess some people could laugh at it because, like, at the whole scene, because it kind of felt like it ate her. But oh no, then a missile flew into it and it exploded and she's still alive. And then she's, oh no, she's, oh my God, she's what's it called? She's spinning away, but thankfully she fell on a motorcycle that Owen is riding. Owen saved her. Like, it just felt like it was too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the plot itself, right? Back to the actual movie itself, away from that scene, itself. So were you satisfied? Because there was a lot of controversy around the fact that, and I actually agree with the controversy, around the fact that the dinosaurs did not have feathers in some way or another. Do you accept the explanation they gave in movie where basically we had, Wong straight up say, hey, this shit isn't real. None of this is fucking real. Every one of them is a hybrid in some way or another in this movie, minus the raptors, I guess.
I mean, Because technically all the dinosaurs that are made are hybrids because they even explained it harkens back to the first movie how they said, oh, we had to use frog DNA to, patch in the holes in the genetic code that we recovered when we got it out of the mosquito blood. So like, they're the others I would say are mostly true to form with whatever tweaks they had to make here and there. Until later on, now we know. Yeah, I like the explanation they gave in movie. B.D. Wong is the actor. His name in movie is Henry Wu.
Henry Wu. Sorry, I thought it was. Yeah.
I like the explanation that they give because it does point out it's like no, we made them the way people want to see them. As they see, seeing them in the theme park, what people are used to. It's like we didn't make them all, anatomically correct. So, I was fine with that explanation. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, which is fine. I still agree with the controversy, but I think it was a great explanation because it served a purpose and it makes sense. And also, there's a lot of science fiction in the movie itself as well.
Right.
I mean, straight up science fiction. Like, I don't know if you noticed this, Tristan, but in the park throughout the movie, I saw a lot of minorities. And personally, as a minority, I've polled other minorities, like, would you go to a theme park with dinosaurs all around you? And this is a real-life poll, very small sample size, yes, but still a real-life poll that I conducted. The answers were yes, no, and no, minorities don't fuck with dinosaurs. And can I tell you, Tristan, 100% of the minorities that were polled went with, no, we don't fuck with dinosaurs. Because no, it's dinosaurs and it's ghosts. No. Not in my house.
Say, the ghosts too.
Not in my fucking house.
God.
So when I saw minorities there at the park, I was like, wow, this is straight up science fiction. Straight up science fiction. We're in a different reality. Might as well be watching Cloverfield.
Okay. All right. This is the timeline where the park worked until it didn't.
I still feel like there'd be a bunch of people at home that would be like, nope. 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 You would have celebrities. You would have celebrities being like, you sure we can buy you tickets? Is that the problem? Oh, no, we can afford it. We are not fucking going there.
It's just
but
like
we're buying you tickets.
In, 3.
Yeah. Nope.
Some people want to be astronauts, and some boys grow up to be astronomers. Well, he says boys, but anyone can be anything. But some people grow up to be astronomers. Other people grow up to be astronauts.
I'm sorry, man. I don't care if you paid for my ticket. You'll pay for my flight there and right back. I will step off. I'll hum, and I'll get right on the plane right back.
We'll do it. We'll only do a circle over the island. We won't actually land. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what they said in the third one.
Oh my God.
So they said in the third one. But no. But all jokes aside, though, Tristan, like all jokes aside, all seriousness here.
Yeah.
Putting the fact that as a minority, I'm saying no. But let's be real here, though. I know that you love dinosaurs, and I know that to you, you're like, man, Matt. I'm sure you'd be like, it'd be really hard to tell me not to go see a dinosaur. But if there's a T-Rex on the island, are you ready to risk it all? I mean, that's what I'm. There's a difference. If there were herbivores, I'd go.
Right.
But the second I hear about
like
super beasts.
Oh yeah, no. Because for me, it feels like it's the same kind of danger that you would have going to a circus with even animals in captivity. Because you have lions and tigers and bears. I mean, granted, I don't think they keep many. Yeah. I don't think. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't been to a circus in a very long time, since I was a child.
Here's the thing, though, Matt.
And even then, I don't know if they use that many animals in the show. But
I don't go to circuses.
I mean, 'cause
circuses, I think, are phasing out. Circuses are phasing out animals
exactly.
to talk about abuse. But going
right,
to the zoo,
exactly.
I think the zoo is a better comparison.
Okay, that's true. You're right. That's true.
But the way they keep them in here's the thing though, right? There's okay, a lion in a zoo, or not even a lion. Let's say there's birds, because obviously there are birds. The birds can get out and really attack me if we want to go full on Alfred Hitchcock, but they're not going to pick me up and go away.
Yeah.
Like I can at least move my arms around to try to block birds from pecking out my eyes. Fuck can I do when these things come at me? I'm dead. They either pick me up by their beaks or they're picking me up by their feet. Like if you're telling me everything's a herbivore and I can ride them, because that's the thing, little kids were riding them. I was like, that's adorable. That's awesome. That's the part
also
of the
dangerous.
zoo that I'm down for. Somewhat, but the thing is, you have people there, I assume, like Owen, that are like, calm down, it's all cool. Look, it's a little one, like your little ones, and they're like, yeah, it's a little one, right? Like it's just a little one on top of me. It's just small. That's all. It's a small thing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like whatever.
Still crush you.
Kind of like how you. No. It can hurt you. I'm not saying, but again, any animal can arguably hurt you.
Right.
I mean, a dog
exactly.
can hurt you. But I'm just saying that there's a difference between saying like, oh, I'm going to go,
Does he bite? No,
pet my dog.
He can hurt you in other ways, though.
I love that one. Edward. But anyway, I'm just saying that's literally. You forgot about that one. But anyway, I'm just saying that there's a difference between a dog and telling me that there are T-Rexes. I'm sorry, you're not getting me on that island. My ticket could be free. I will use it as toilet paper. And I'll hum the theme while doing it. I don't care.
As much as, it's like the idea, it's the idea of always dreaming of seeing these animals up close and personal right there. But it's also the idea that, they're still wild animals and a force of nature. It's like you can only get so close until you get bit.
And that's the thing, and that's why I'm not interested. Like, and I feel like I don't know why. Like, if you'd be interested, that's cool. I would just have to potentially be like, all right, do we have anyone else to podcast on Dragon Ball? Because good luck, Godspeed.
I would totally let you know and be like, I'd write out the will before I left, definitely.
And that's the thing. I don't have to write out a will every time I go to the zoo. I just don't antagonize the lion. Or, I still antagonize it. You know what I'm saying? I look at how big the wall is. I'm like, I hope it's a big enough wall so that it doesn't jump over it. And if I see it and it sees me, I'm like, hi. I'm not going to, hit the glass. How you doing?
Right.
And then I'll walk away. Because you hit the glass, you antagonize it. Oh, no, it can jump higher than we ever dreamed. Excellent. And then same thing here. We're going to create a super beast, except, oh, well. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, it can trick you. I'm just like, all right. Now, like I was waiting for it to just be like, oh, no, and it has human thumbprints. And it can speak English. Oh,
honestly,
no.
Yeah. That's what I was waiting for at some point, just to hear it speak. But, I mean, to be fair, like me watching The Anonymous and everything that it does, I found that thing terrifying.
No, it was, actually. It legitimately was. But I think it was too much.
Because I just feel like the characters figuring out, because no one was allowed, that was also another bad thing to have. It's like the geneticists can't tell you what, went into making this asset. It's like, well, that should be a red flag right there. And then it's just them slowly finding out throughout the movie all the shit that it can do, and it's just like, no, it's okay, we still got this, we got this. Oh, by the way, it can also do this. Oh, fuck.
I was upset when it could camouflage, but once they said it was also part raptor, I told you, I checked out. I was like, I'm done. This is too much. Because it gets to the point where it's just like, it's half T-Rex and it's half raptor. Also, it's part mecha and it's also part Hindu god, but the vengeful gods, not the nice ones. It's like, okay, guys, can we just chill here? Like it's starting to become
is it
fan
a god
fiction.
of destruction, Matt?
But I'm just telling you, Tristan, if someone gave me the idea of the indomitable T-Rex, I would have looked at that person and said, okay,
the abominable
I'm happy that I'm happy that, you're proud of your fan fiction, but maybe let's talk about the movie franchise. Like, it just doesn't sound like an actual part of the franchise.
That's what's funny for me. At first I thought like that, but the more and more I saw of it, and the more I realized the angle they were going for, it's like, no, we need bigger and scarier and toothier to bring people in. And I started to really think about it, and I'm like, wow, yeah, they went all in to make sure this thing would bring people in. So, like, of course it's ridiculous.
Which
and it
also,
started
like,
to make a lot more, like, it made sense to me. You know?
Yeah, no, and it goes back to that anti-capitalist mindset that, again, it's funny. I really do like capitalism. Why are we doing this podcast where we can be like at the end and be like, and we have T-shirts and all that stuff. Like, I'm not anti-making money here, but I do think that, the movie definitely is going for that message here and there. And again, it's not the worst message because, again, it's supposed to be the whole ridiculousness just to bring in the people, despite the fact that you're killing the people that you're bringing in if this thing gets loose. It's so stupid. It would be like saying, we have a tiger, but we need it to have muscles. Inject it with steroids. I don't know what that'll do, but let's not do that. Nah, let's do it.
Well, that was why the conversation between the owner or investor and Dr. Wu, it's like I didn't, it's like, oh, I told you to make an attraction. It's like, yeah, and that's what I did. You may be able to camouflage. And he just kind of rolls his eyes like, well, we had to put the cuttlefish genes in so that it could, it could work with the accelerated growth. Like, kind of looking at it like matter of fact. It's like, what are you worried about?
Well, no, wasn't it the camouflage that actually made him confused? It was something else that he was like, well, duh. I think the raptor part was the well, duh, but I think the camouflage.
He didn't talk about he didn't say that it was part raptor. They only found that out after it could communicate with them.
But then which part of it? Because there was one part where he said, oh, that is not something that I expected. Oh, when he was able to hide its thermalness.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it hit his body heat, and he was like, oh, shit. The frogs.
Right. Well, then, because that was the thing. They gave it. I mean, yes, we are delving into science fiction here, obviously, but the idea was it's like he didn't know what genes would be, represented within the creature when he used pieces of DNA. It was kind of like, well, we got to put this in because of this, and then there would be, and then these powers basically became a side effect of, well, we used this. Oh, so it got it from that, but we used it for this reason, but it also got these, from the same same strain. We didn't anticipate that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
what do you mean sorry?
It's funny. It's kind of like in a Pokemon sense, if you want to think of it that way, where it's just like, well, this Pokemon had this attribute. This Pokemon had this attribute. We're trying to breed it to get this attribute, but then it also had this. Oh, it got this from this.
Right,
that's the kind of like way to simplify it, essentially. Like, oh, it has, a special attack thing that I didn't think about that it could raise by breeding it with this one, and it did.
Right.
I didn't consider that. So, or some just like really funny moves where you're like, how does my Pikachu know surf? And it's like, well, it's pop. Well, you can't learn HMs, but it was like it would learn like water gun, and you're like, how? Well, its father was a Squirtle. Like, like
what?
It's like right.
Yeah.
It's like right, that happened.
And like when you finally see them looking into the lab, you see all the different creatures that they took, DNA from to put into this thing, and it's like, holy shit! But like that's the thing, because InGen's like that's the whole hidden thing. It's like they're trying to make it for military use. It's like Hoskins even says during the thing, he's like, oh, he's using our assets as just a walk in the park, and it's like they're really supposed to be used for this, and that's why. I mean, you see Dr. Wu is working hand in hand with them. It's funny because that scene where he gets away in the chopper with the few guys from InGen. I thought that was going to be the plot for the second Jurassic World right there. It's like, well, we're going into World War Dinosaur.
Well, yeah, we're not going into that. That might be saved for like a third big movie, but I think we might have some inklings of that. Because again, I just can't. Here's the part of the movie that I just don't get, and maybe it's just me. Maybe InGen is more powerful, or they're like a secret part of the government that we don't know about. Again, that's not fucking explained here. Yeah, no. All jokes aside, yes, because I'm really confused because why is the park going to shit? Going to help their cause at all? Why would they allow some horrible super beast? Oh no, but Dr. Wu said, oh, but it has to be cool. That's what you said. Yeah, but then why the fuck would you go with his demands when you're working with InGen? Oh, well, it's supposed to be used for military use instead. But you're using it here. I know technically it's like you have to play to both masters, like you have to play to the person that's hiring you here, and you can't betray them and yada yada. But it's just the idea
I get
of
the feeling
how
InGen probably signed off on it too. Like just hearing the description, like hearing it on paper, they're like, "Oh wow, that sounds awesome, do it," and then not realizing, "Hey, you can't actually control this thing like you think you can." Remember? No, we don't remember. Oh.
Yes. Okay, so if you're saying InGen is just fucking incompetent, that's fair. But then arguably they're not the best villains then if they're that fucking arguably the dinosaurs are the villains, I guess. Although that's another issue with this movie too, is the tone that the dinosaurs are the villains or that the people are the villains. Because obviously you would argue, well, it's the people, Matt, because they created the monster. Yeah, but then we still had to fight it off. Like I'm not saying it wouldn't have been cheesy if Owen started talking to it. Like the, Indomitable. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been cheesy. However, it's part raptor, so we couldn't have somewhat talked it down. I know, again, it sounds really weird, I'm sure, and maybe it would have been too much for the film. But if the idea is, oh no, the dinosaurs are the good guys, it's the humans that are the bad guys, it's then weird when we're killing dinosaurs left and right.
Well, I mean...
Well, don't worry, Tristan. It's just Blue. Blue's one of the good ones. It's kind of like, what are we doing here? Where are we going with this? I kind of look at the
dinosaurs as neutral. Because,
okay,
they're not reason... I mean, the raptors followed Owen for the longest time because he raised them, basically. He was able, like you said, he was able to imprint on them. And that's why he says, all the things about the Anonymous in the beginning, like, so let me get this straight. The only relationship it has is with that meat hook and associates it with food. You kept it here alone, in containment. And he even says, he's like, animals raised in captivity and in solitary confinement usually don't do too well. It's like it doesn't learn any social skills, and it doesn't have anything else to look to, basically learn from, like any animal does, basically.
Yeah, which is why usually when you go to a zoo, you would most likely see two of every animal.
Oh, exactly, right.
Yeah, it's not like it's a funny, like, Noah's Ark thing. It's literally like there's two of them because one of them is supposed to, like, make sly comments to the other, and then the other one says, I wish I never married you. Well, then again, maybe I'm just jumping to the kids-parents relationship. I don't know.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that divorce plot, Tristan? You told me how you felt before. Tell everyone on the podcast now. How'd you feel about it?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of felt weird.
Here's the thing. What?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't really care one way or the other, but it felt like they just kind of sort of threw it out there. I mean, they needed the brothers to kind of bond over something and get closer, which I liked. But it just felt like, they're like, oh, we have to bring this up now. It's like, yeah, the mom made one comment to the dad when they were leaving, but it wasn't really like if they were at each other's throats the whole drive there, then maybe I would have been like, oh. Like,
oh, you're right.
Okay.
Wow. Wow, you're right. There was a little bit of something. Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
But it wasn't really enough. It wasn't enough for me to go like, so there's going to be a divorce plot coming up, isn't there? Or,
Mhm. My
not that
whole
I'm saying
thing
I really
is
wanted
this.
to see that either, but
my whole thing is this, right? I don't think anything in the movie can be considered unneeded if it were built upon. However, a bunch of shit in the movie was not built upon, therefore I can categorize it as unneeded. And that divorce plot is one thing. Another thing is the fact that apparently Owen and Claire are in love or something. What is it?
Well,
what do we call it? They're two attractive people. Is that just what we call it?
No, they dated previously. That's what their whole
One
conversation
date.
was.
One date. That's it.
No, I'm not saying it
You
was
went
good.
on
I'm just
one.
saying why.
I know, but that's the worst thing ever. Like, one date, and then you ridicule her because she's obviously, yes, she's a control freak, which sucks, but also she's trying to run a dino business. Like, I'm sorry, but when your business is dinosaurs, you're allowed to be a little bit of a jerk when people's lives are in your hands. Like,
I guess technically that's the point his character's trying to make. Like, you run all aspects of your life like a business. Can you really live like that? And it's like, well, that's my choice.
True.
Like, oh, okay, I guess it is.
Because that's the thing. Accurate, right? It's cool, like, that's the idea. But the issue is that, like, here's the thing, right? Again, the movie tries to, in my opinion, have some anti-capitalist sentiments. Usually it works throughout the film because, again, it's like we have to make a bigger and badder thing despite the fact that it could kill everyone around us because we need money. Money, money, money. We need to fund the thing. If we can't fund the thing, then what's the point of making them? Where at least we have the investor being like, yo, Hammond literally told me with his dying wish, which was totally cool, by the way, just to name drop randomly. Like, he might as well have looked at the camera. Hammond's dead. Like, it was like, thanks, man. That's great. Just doing that outright. Hammond said to me on his deathbed, alongside Graham, who had been shot in the face. Like, what the fuck? Thanks for killing them all off.
Oh my God.
Thanks for doing it. But anyway, but seriously though, he said, like, hey, it was his dying wish that I keep these things alive, and that's what I prefer to do. Which was nice that he was there to do that. But again, he also fell from the capitalist bug of, oh, we need to make a bigger and stronger and cooler thing. What if it terrifies the parents? Good. It was like, okay.
Do you think it'll be too scary for the kids?
No.
The kids. Yes. It'll scare the shit out of the parents.
You know what's You know what I really love? Just having it scare the shit out of the parents. Is that what Hammond would have wanted?
No, not really. I mean, I do
way,
like
I
that
think
he plays that part, though, that he kind of says it's like, he built the park for people to be, like Owen says it too, like he built this park for people to be humbled and to be able to, enjoy these animals from a safe distance and not. And I love that vision of Hammond's actually coming to life. Like, you see the park flourishing like he always dreamed. That's why I really loved, like, the opening when the kids finally get onto the island and the youngest brother is just, like, so excited and running around and watching everything. And when they're finally out and they see dinosaurs and the music plays, that, I'll be honest, when I saw it in the theater, that actually brought a tear to my eye because I was like, this is it. It's here. This is it. This is what every child that grew up watching Jurassic Park wanted to see. And I'm like, it made me so sad, too, at the same time because I'm like, and oh, dear God, this is going to end so fucking horribly.
Yes, and it did. And it fucking did.
Yep.
So, yeah. So before we talk about one thing about the park, though, that you said that you disagreed with, or like one of the dinosaurs, the way they reacted, before we get to that, but remember that, though, because I want to get to it, I want to mention, though, that, again, like, it just, there's certain parts of the not even the plot, it's the characters that I feel like weren't given enough depth, and that's the thing, man, where I look at Owen, and I'm like, hey, it's Chris Pratt, and they're like, no, it's Owen. You know Owen. He was in the Navy. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know Chris Pratt was in the Navy. No.
True.
That's
Owen. He kind of does feel like, you just look at him and you think Chris Pratt, not the actual character. Yeah. That's fair.
And that's the thing, though, because it's not even, I don't even necessarily want to blame Chris Pratt because he was sadly, great. It's my nerd cred might be removed or might be downgraded from saying this. I have not seen Guardians of the Galaxy, but I've seen clips, and I don't think of it as Chris Pratt necessarily. I know you have, so there you go. You've been boosted up in the rankings.
Like that's
but
no,
I
I'm
have
just thinking
seen,
like that's crazy. It's like there's a movie that I've seen that Matt hasn't. Oh God, we're in another timeline. Oh
You're
God,
right.
we've created another timeline.
That's what happens, man. But I do like the clips that I've seen of him as Star-Lord. I've seen a little bit of him in Parks and Rec, and he's really funny. Here, I feel like they were, and again, it's not even his fault necessarily, but I feel like they were trying to go for he's an everyman strong guy. And it's just like, dude, he's not Bruce Willis. He's not. But he's not, though. But it felt like they were trying to have him go around and be like, hey, I'm in control here. When really he just comes off as like, hey, I'm in control here. Like I feel like they were, granted, I'm not saying that he wasn't in control. Like his actions spoke louder than his words, which is why in certain parts of the movie I kind of wanted him to shut up. His character, not him personally.
Right.
Like that last line.
Oh.
Holy shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know who approved that line, but no.
Can you please remind me of the line, because it burns. I feel like I've already
After
forgotten
Claire
it. My brain
returns the kids to her family, to their family, she walks over to Owen and says, "Now what?" And he goes, "Well, I guess we'll stick together for survival." And it's like, oh, why? You should have just walked off into the sunset and said nothing. It would have been fine.
He literally could have said to her, and I texted this to you, and I'm going to say it verbatim. He could have said to her, hey, do you like kids now? Because I'm going to put a baby in you. And I would have been like, that's a more appropriate line. Wait, what was the movie originally called? Like Jurassic Park Survival? Because if it was, then that makes sense, I guess. Why the fuck was that? Even though I've never heard that it was called that, I'm just saying if it was called Jurassic World Survival, I'd be like, oh, it makes sense that he used the word survival out of fucking nowhere.
It's an awkward title drop. Okay.
Like at that point, if I was with someone or wanted to be with someone who said that exact line, I'd be like, get yourself out of your dinosaur work.
Oh.
Like, can you imagine if some woman was like, so what do we do now? And I'm like, let's play this game together. Just leave my dick there and go home. Don't look at me anymore. Don't look at me anymore. If I say the phrase, let's play this game together. What?
Oh my God. Oh God.
Hey, let's podcast together. Those guys. What hashtag those guys? What the fuck? Go home. Don't even look at me. Just leave. Because it's not even like a pun. It's not a name drop. It's just really weird. Like, Grant would have been like, are you okay? Like, that makes Grant look like a master player. Like, Malcolm is just like, that wasn't even a swing. Like, it's not like, oh, swing and a miss. That wasn't even a swing.
No, he's just like, man, I wouldn't have even be able to predict that with chaos theory. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, he's just like, mathematically, the chances of someone saying that are nigh impossible.
And you actually scoring with that line? Even less so.
Like, dear God, you have to look like Chris Pratt for that to work. Like, that is the true embodiment of... You know what? Actually, that's the only way we can consider that real life. Because some people would say that's not real life because who would score with that line? Someone who looks like that would, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
People who look that good can just be like, math is just really more so like an art, really. Like 2 plus 2, what does that even really equal? And people are like, my God, you're so pretty. My God. And I know some people would say, no, but math is like an art form. When you get really high up there, yeah, but 2 plus 2, what is it? Well, really, it's more like an art form. God, you're so beautiful. I mean, what can 2 plus 2 really mean at the end of the day? Oh, geez, stop talking. Use those lips for something completely different. Come over here and kiss me. Don't even think. Don't worry, you're not already doing it. Just keep doing.
What the fuck?
Basically, that's how the end of the movie felt to me.
It's okay, because then the T-Rex came out and roared, and you realized, yes, this is Tyrannosaurus Dominion. Everything was fine.
No, the T-Rex roared because he heard that. He screamed, "What the fuck?"
No, he's just screaming, "You kids, get off my lawn!"
Yeah, it's the original T-Rex. He's just so old. He's like
I think that was the idea. That was supposed to be the original. I don't know if that's true. But
I don't think it was. I think it was supposed to symbolize it.
Well, because you kind of see some of the scars on the side of its body, and it's like,
oh,
is that from the raptor claws?
Oh, that's interesting. That would be interesting.
The first T-Rex didn't die at the end of the first one, so I mean,
it would be cool if that is supposed to be. I've never heard, I've heard people say maybe, but I've never heard a definitive, no, it really is, dude.
Yeah.
If it is,
right.
that's
I've never
awesome.
heard a definitive answer about it either, so I just bring it up because it's a cool idea, but I'm not sure if it's true either.
Well, no. What matters is that if it is that old, it's the I forgot which Kong it is. The older Kong, the one that gives you advice in Donkey Kong Country.
Oh my, Cranky Kong.
Cranky, yes, he's just Cranky Kong.
Oh my God, he's Cranky Rex.
He's just sitting in a dinosaur rocking chair. He's just in a dinosaur rocking chair, just giving people advice.
Oh my God. No, that was literally that's literally what she was doing before Claire comes out and opens the door. It's like, what is it? We need you to take care of this punk. Just cracks her knuckles. All right. Let me show this biological monstrosity who's boss around here.
Before we get back to the characters, I have no problem with Claire running in high heels. What I have a problem with was how close she let it get to her before then somehow gaining.
Yeah.
I think, and I know some people might say no, but it was cooler visually that it was right behind her most of the time. No.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would have been cooler, personally, if she ran and then the shot ended up being the dinosaur jumping in, essentially, from the door frame to being right behind her. I think that would have been a cooler shot versus it being behind her so close that she then was somehow able to turn and then be farther than the dinosaur, than the T-Rex in heels. Doesn't even matter if you're not in heels. Can you run 40 miles per hour?
It's funny. I think the story behind that shot is that they originally didn't have her in heels, but the actress wanted to do it. And I mean, hey, power to her,
Oh, no, and she could. So I actually remember hearing that story, too. I think she mentioned it on the Colbert Show. So I have no problem with that train of thought for her as a human being. I'm just trying to say that the CG shows that she would have been eaten the second she turned at the door.
Right.
You can't get that close to it and then outrun it. That means that any one of them could have outrun the T-Rex or any dinosaur like it for 3 movies. Really?
You just get flashbacks to Malcolm. Must go faster.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. You can't outrun it. You're ducking in between shit for a reason. Yeah. She ran way too far for the. So in my head, it would have been a better shot if it would have been running at her. She would have turned quicker because again, it sees her. It's not gonna turn to the right and be like, "Where did it go?" No, it hears.
You just see the T-Rex walking in the opposite direction as she's running in slow-mo back, and she's like, "Oh shit!"
It wouldn't have done that. It's not a fucking stupid animal. You don't know what I'm saying. No, it's funny. It's a funny thought, but that's what I'm saying. It's not stupid. It would have known where she was going. There's no problem with her running. Yeah.
If anything, this movie has shown you that animals are in fact not stupid. And if you didn't learn that from the first 3 movies, I don't know when you're going to learn.
Exactly. So, by the way, great idea. Unleash the T-Rex on the bigger one because, again, T-Rex is literally, I made the joke to you through text, but it's true, where, Owen said, hey, it's trying to learn where it is, in the pecking order, right, in the food chain.
Right.
And T-Rex will definitely show it where it belongs.
I love that line so much. I was watching the movie
because
and I wanted to hug you. God damn it.
It's such a. Oh wait, what do you mean? What line?
No, just hearing you go, and the T-Rex is going to show it where it belongs in that food chain.
Because it's true. No, because the way I texted it to you was because what I texted it to you, I texted you in all caps with the T-Rex going,
right.
"I'm gonna fucking show you." That's what I texted. Oh man, because it's what it's gonna do, and that's fine because the T-Rex isn't gonna be like small hand high five. Like no, it's going to beat the ever-loving shit out of it. So that's fine. I'm cool with that. But back to the characters again, just briefly, because again, I shat on Owen for a bit. Why am I shitting on Claire? Well, because here's the thing with Claire. They're trying to make it seem like it's the standard businessman cliche, which it is arguably more progressive that it's a woman instead of a man that they're giving it to, because usually in the 90s it would have been, man with his kids, not showing enough, kind of like a Malcolm situation, but a bit different because, it would be more so like, again, like, oh, I'm the CEO, or like, oh, I'm running the business operations, and, oh, no, I don't get to see my kids much. Like, it's usually the plot of like a Christmas movie. Where it's like spend more time with your kids. No,
right.
But like I'm being serious. That's the kind of cliched plot that it is, and it's not a terrible plot necessarily. It's only a problem here because it's not like a, businessman in suit being like, "Hello, yes, I need to do that business meeting to make the money that apparently I make a lot of." It's not like that. It's more so like, "Hey, why is Aunt Claire Aunt Claire should be with her nephews, okay?" It's kind of like, yeah, and then the whole park would go to shit, and dinosaurs would be everywhere. Great plan, genius. You're in the park. Not talking to the kids. I'm talking to the plot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking to the idea that we're supposed to be like, how dare she be mean to her nephews? It's like, dude, she's fucking running the entire park.
Right.
Like, what do you expect? Her to be like, let me take a day off.
Yeah.
It's like, even if she didn't have the super beast, the indomitable Snow Rex over there, because it was white too, by the way, literally like a snowman, like the indomitable. So the indomitable Snow Rex over there, you're still fucking dealing with dinosaurs. Like, what if the fucking the gate malfunctioned and the T-Rex got out? Oh, isn't it excellent that Aunt Claire is hanging out with her nephews? No. Someone needs to get in that sector and fucking do something. That's my thing. Like, it's not, like, again, I'm not necessarily against the whole, spend more time with your kids plot. But first off, those aren't her kids. I know it would seem a bit too much like the second movie if they were her kids, but they're also not her kids. And guess what? She doesn't want to have kids, and guess what? That's okay. So even though it was technically supposed to be, okay, because you remember that line too.
Problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
even though,
it's like when. It's like, no. It's definitely an if. Like, stop it.
And granted, sure, you could argue, but that's just her sister, and her sister's had kids, and you know how people are when they have, when they have kids, they talk about kids are the brightest thing. To be fair, you could argue that. But the problem, of course, is that we're not looking at an actual real conversation. We're looking at a movie. So in a way, that it's just really that coupled into, it's a bunch of things where it's like, it's when you have kids, then mixed in with, I don't care about the whole she had heels. I really don't care about that. That's actually not, like, again, the actress wanted to wear heels, let the actress wear heels. So, but it's still the whole, like, again, the whole, when you want to have kids. Then it's the romantic subplot that we never really develop, and all of a sudden they're okay with each other to the point where, granted, again, if she's like, look, him taking out dinosaurs is the hottest thing, I'd be like, all right, that's fair. I mean, when she shot that raptor, I was like, not raptor, when she shot the not pterodactyl. Thank you, yeah. When she shot, I was like, hey. I was like, how you doing? Because when she saved Owen, I was like, damn. I was like, hello. Like,
well, even Owen was
I get it.
Nice shot, Claire.
Yeah, that was like, we're good here. Granted, I love, like, she shot from so close, but she's like, nice shot. She's like, lucky it wasn't you. But yeah, so it's the idea of, when you have kids mixed in with, random ass romantic subplot mixed in with, she can't be a businesswoman. She has to want kids. Which, again, ties into the first one, but still, like, the idea of, like, when you tie it all in together, and then, just, again, like, even though it's not her, the way they tortured her assistant, who didn't deserve torture, again, none of them really did other than Fuckface, who got eaten. Well, not eaten, but he sure as hell got his face torn up, the fuck up.
Yeah.
And his hand bit. Oh, by the way, random aside, because I know some people will be like, he's going on an SJW rant. All right, random aside. Just a quick random aside, though, Tristan. Did you find it strange that look, I've never been bitten by a dinosaur, and neither have you. But did you find it strange with the lack of blood, where it feels like they had no problem with people being bitten down on, but they didn't collapse into two, or there was no blood? It was just very clean. People got eaten a lot, actually, but very clean. Did you was that off to you, or were you like, oh God, they're getting, like, were you lost in the moment that didn't really click, or like that, oh God, they're getting eaten and there's no blood? Like, did you get lost in it? Like, what was your thoughts on it? Because it just felt very clean and precise, like a lightsaber slice, like, like how it doesn't like bleed out because it cauterizes them. Like, it felt like they're.
Because the raptor didn't pull away with his arm either. It was still attached. It just bit down on his hand.
And I meant every scene, not just that one scene. I mean every scene that someone gets eaten in. Usually there was. I'm pretty sure there was no blood. Other than
there
his
was
scene.
Definitely a big. With the Indominus, there was a big one where it picks somebody up, and it's obscured basically by a tree branch, but it's basically raining blood because it just tore someone in half.
Okay, so then there were two scenes with blood then, because it felt like every other scene. No, because I'm saying that there was a lot of dinosaur eating in the movie, and a lot of it felt really quick. Like when that one worker, I felt so bad for him. He was looking right into Owen's eyes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
no, dude,
funny.
that hurt me.
It's funny. It didn't really hurt me because I love the fact, like, he looks over it. I don't know if he was looking at Owen specifically. Like, maybe he was.
No, because he could see Owen, and Owen could see him. He was right under the car.
Yeah, no, I know that. I mean, I guess, yeah, he was looking at Owen. But just the fact that I would love, like, not love it, but just the idea, like, Owen looks at him, it's like, yeah, that's what you get for leaving me for dead. I mean, I get it. Like, what was the guy going to do? Of course he runs away. But the fact that he opens up the gate
he didn't leave him for dead.
Card, yeah.
No, he opened up the gate. He didn't close the gate. The control room closed it.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the guy, it's like, I get why he did what he did. Of course, you run away from the scary dinosaur. But it's like, yeah, let me open up the only thing that could let it out, too. It's like, I know, I get it. He's not thinking about
different.
Everyone else's safety right now. It's just him getting out alive. But it's like, really?
Yeah, no. That makes more sense. If Owen is just like, really? You just doomed everyone in this park? Thanks, bro.
Pretty much, yeah.
There we go. But he didn't close the gate. That was control. That was like, what are we going to do? It's like, close it. It's like, but we'll leave him in there. And they fucking did it.
At that point, I would say it's like Owen's fast enough that, like, he made it. He still made it through the door. It's like, no, because he did it before with the Raptors, too. He says to his partner, he says, close the gate. And the guy's like, no, I'm not leaving you in there when the pig got loose and the guy falls in and Owen goes to save him with the Raptors in the beginning.
Yeah, no, but I love how anime.
And then he rolls under it.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. Just press the gate. Owen, the gate closes in 5 seconds. That's 4 seconds too slow. For me, gosh. Owen. It's like, okay.
So, yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just me.
The thing is able to catch up fast enough and push its way through the gate and get out.
I feel like this movie makes me feel like Chris Pratt if he just shaved his head completely and his like his beard or whatever he has going on there too. He could play the perfect Saitama.
Oh my god.
I just feel like he would do that role very well.
Right.
I don't know why,
you know
because
what
it made
else?
me just feel like he's too action. And I don't know why. Like, I love action movies. But you know what it is, too, man? It's something that happened along with Die Hard as well, where, like, first Die Hard, I'm like, all right, even though it's still, fantasy, it's still, it's an action movie, but still, like, it borders on fantasy with what, John McClane did. But when I watched the first Die Hard, I'm like, I can see it. But then by, like, the fourth one, he's literally jumping off a helicopter that's flying. No, I'm sorry. There was a plane that was crashing, and he was running off the side of it and jumped, and he was fine on the highway below because he tucked and rolled, and I was like, this is too much. So I feel like this movie was doing a bit of that, sort of. And again, like, if we know more about certain characters, it makes sense. But again, like we already said, with Claire's character running, even with the kids being as resourceful as they were, granted, one of them, and I love the one-off line, "Weren't you a genius?" It's like, apparently the 10-year-old is such a genius.
There are
that
only
he is
4
just the
dinosaurs.
coolest.
No, there's 5.
Right behind him.
I still love
like,
that
oh,
scene.
well, you're fucked.
Yes.
One thing I want to
The fact
say,
that they
though, is
almost got
that...
eaten. Just the
that was
thing's mouth
terrifying.
coming down on them and like crashing the thing against them. Like, I really thought they were going to be killed off. Like, the first time I saw it, I'm like, so they are dying. There's no
Yes.
like I'm like, no, they're gonna unlatch the seatbelts, fall out of it, and then run out. But at the same time, I'm like,
I thought
when it's just opening its mouth, I'm like, well, they're dead.
I thought one of two things were going to happen. One of them was going to die, or the dinosaur was going to be like, all right, why do I need you? But then when Owen said later, oh, God, it's killing for sport, I was like, oh, because it doesn't give a fuck. That's why.
Yeah.
It just doesn't care. And I was like, that's fair. Yeah. But
Testing
one
out
thing
its
I want to
abilities.
mention.
It's looking for a true challenger.
Good God. It is Jiren.
Power rising, overflowing.
But it looked at the T-Rex. It was like, warrior, sleep. But
oh, my God. And it slams it to the ground. No. It's like, Blue, tag in. I got you, buddy.
Good God.
Oh, good
God. Blue is truly Vegeta. Or Goku. Yep. Blue is Goku. No, but let's back to, because I was talking about, I already shat on Owen, or at least like his non-backstory. I shat on Claire's non-backstory and how, frankly, she's a good character, and I don't really think she needed to change much. Sorry. Like, how much safer would the kids have been had they been with her personally?
Right.
Okay, then the kids would have been off the island. Yeah, but they're still, like, the dinosaurs are still terrible, and granted, she made a mistake already.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part of it that we can argue, okay, she's a shit person, because she calls them assets. She doesn't think of them as as beings. She thinks of them as property. In that way, we're like, oh, okay, then she's a shitty person. 100% there. But to be like, oh, and it's also bad because of how she treats the children. It's just like, well, she hasn't seen them in 7 years. She's not running a podcast. Like, we're not. No, because, like, I feel personally attacked right now. It's a bit different than, I'm sorry, but if I was running a dinosaur theme park, y'all better shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Well, you don't have time for, a man in your life? You mean when I'm trying to make sure people don't die from dinosaur attacks? Yes, I don't have time for a man in my life. It's so stupid. So anyway, but back to, again, why are the kids? Why am I going to shit on the kids now? Because I will admit, though, the kids were very well developed with their, bond and them growing to care. And well, granted, the little brother looks up to the older brother, of course, but the older brother kind of being like, yeah, I'm going to leave for college anyway, which, to be fair, he should also be, even though he's taking it in a negative way, and I understand why he's being, people are like, oh, you're being a dick about it. Why shouldn't he be able to live his own life, though?
Yeah, that too.
Like, the only part that I was really kind of like, all right, no, you're being a dick, which I loved the little brother for. It was perfect. When he's staring at those girls and it's like, dude, you have a girlfriend. Like, stop it.
Right, or the fact, no, he was just like, yeah, because you staring at them is going to do what? Yeah, no, that was hilarious. It was like,
I loved it because
you're welcome.
Because it's true. Because it's true.
Yeah.
Because if he was really trying, even because another thing too, by the way, I'm not saying he should like try to be a player, but like he literally could have pretended to be invested in what his brother was doing, and the girls would have been like, "Oh, that's so sweet." But no, he's like, "Don't be a nerd in front of the girls, bro. I'm just gonna stare at them." And the little brother's like, "Really? Like, what does that accomplish?" And they laughed, and it's like, "Yeah, because you're being an idiot."
Mm.
But yeah, no. So, but still, their bond was great. But then all of a sudden, it's just like, granted, the kid is smart and he is a snoop. So he's like, they were Googling how to get divorced.
Yeah.
And like, all I can imagine is the teenage brother being like, you didn't see anything else they Googled. They Googled some other weird stuff. Yes, it was them. They did Google that. All of that weird shit. That was all them. Our parents are terrible people. Like, it's just, but seriously, I do get it. Like, okay, the brother is smart or something. Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But, again, like, the end of the movie didn't address that at all. Like, they kiss the kids, but, okay.
Right.
They love each other then? It just, I don't know.
I mean, it's just the idea they're happy to have their kids back, and at that point, I don't know, like at that point the movie's wrapped up. They don't really need to jump into, oh, well, do they all stay together or not? Because I feel like that would have been weird.
It would be weird, but then that's why you don't introduce it. Like,
True.
There was talk from the writers of the film. Also, there was some interesting controversy with that, where like two people wrote the original, came up with the original story idea. I guess maybe in depth, but then two other people wrote the most recent draft or a bunch of drafts that ended up becoming the movie itself. So there was a weird controversy where it was kind of like, oh, do we credit the people who came up with the idea? Which, I mean, I guess in my head, like I guess they really came up with the idea, like on paper somehow. But it isn't technically the current draft we have. Anyway, back to what I was just saying though. When it comes to the story, apparently it's meant to be part of a 3-part movie series. Like, the idea is that, this is a quote, that it's not meant to be a standalone. It's meant to kind of lead into all three as one coherent narrative. And personally, I'm not a fan of that. And the reason why is, me personally, and maybe you could argue, not you personally, Tristan, but like other people could argue, well, that's what Marvel's doing in DC, and you talk about how much you like Marvel movies, Matt. But it feels like every single one is its own standalone plot, but they just keep the character progression for the next one. It doesn't seem like it's going to be really frustrating if it's like, oh, don't worry, Matt. In the second one, we're going to learn more about Owen and his backstory. It's just like, really? This isn't a TV show.
Right.
This is a movie. And I want to feel like when I watch one movie, I'm getting the entire plot, and I feel like it's done. And sure, some people could say, oh, Matt, you've said you didn't want, Marvel villains to die in the first movie that they're in, because if they don't die, then how is it resolved? It's resolved because they go to super jail or something like that. It's resolved because they're removed from the picture. Maybe if they escape, it sucks, but it feels like their situation has been contained. The day has been saved. Here, I guess you could argue the day has been saved, but again, we don't know anything about these characters, and there's no, as far as I know, there was no novelization or comic book released before the movie, and I know some people would complain about that as well, but there's no way for me to be like, oh, I know the story of Batman. I don't fucking need to see another origin movie about Batman. I don't even need 5 minutes to see his parents die again. Shit, like at this point, I've said it before on the air. I haven't said it to you, Tristan, but I've said it before to Anthony Sanandros on the air. You want to put either Uncle Ben or Batman's parents through another fucking scene, just give me the gun. I'll pull the trigger. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. I've seen it so many times. I've
You're the
read
guy
it
with the,
so many.
You're the guy with the rocket launcher who shot one of the raptors.
Yeah. Well, that actually. Oh God, that killed me on the inside.
Yeah, that made me sad.
Well, also it should have fucking killed
Watching
Owen
them
on
all
the inside.
die.
He was way too
Yeah.
close.
Well, because
that's the thing
that
too. Again.
I mean, he even says it. It's like there's only one. There's only one target. Please do not shoot my raptors. Please. I raised them
but
from
I'm saying,
babies. Please don't shoot my raptors.
Did you say shoot the raptors? No, what I said was confirm shoot the raptors. God damn it. But no,
Just
I don't know, man. Like
evil.
I just yeah, right. All I'm trying to say is that, again, back to the whole, it just seems like Owen survived too much. Like, again, it was like super action star. It's like, no, I'm not watching Star-Lord. I'm trying to watch a dude who has Navy SEAL training, I guess, according to the movie.
Your answer. Yeah.
Well, of course. Navy SEAL training, it'll do it to you. Being in the military, it'll harden you up. But it still was just, again, he was really close. Like, you know what it is, too? After seeing that movie, The Other Guys, where they made the joke about, how do people just walk away from explosions?
Right, that's true.
It's just completely subverted that idea for me. Also, that unless we're watching an actual superhero movie, it's hard for me to suspend my disbelief that much still.
Yeah.
But one thing, okay, but we were talking about, earlier we were talking about, again, like, the two brothers and being like, no development, or little development, right? But still good development. But again, the divorce plot was like, okay, like I don't want to have to see the second movie and then have to deal with the divorce plot or something being a part of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I want one movie to be a standalone movie, but have them go, no, we're going to make 3, but the movie wrapped up in some way. And it feels like this movie was not finished. And obviously we know there's going to be a sequel, no shit. But it just feels like this movie was made so that another one could be made. Now, I'm not saying I know how we could have closed it any further, but I'm just saying that people's characters do not feel like we were supposed to sit back and be like, I'm content with just this. Not that, I want to see more, but more so like, wait, what's going on with Owen and Claire?
Yeah, true. I guess in a way, the first movie kind of focuses in on its characters a bit more first before everything goes to shit. So you kind of get to have a background and where the characters are coming from, where this one basically just jumps into the action. Yeah, and that's one criticism I guess I would have it. I would have liked to see more of the park a bit first before everything went to shit, and just seeing people enjoy it, and maybe getting Claire to talk to the owner a bit more about the inner workings here and there. But, yeah.
Yeah, because she knows it, obviously. But, it's just frustrating because I don't even need to get them, I don't know, all I needed was Owen to say one thing where it's just like, I want to protect these kids, or even if the sister said, or rather Claire said something like, I really want to help these kids out. I actually feel really bad. My sister's telling me she's going to get a divorce, and Owen can be like, oh, that's terrible. My parents were, obviously he wants to save kids no matter what, because no shit, right? But, I feel like there's no, other than him being like, well, I obviously want to save, it's kind of like, of course he wants to save kids, but, does he want to save them more than other people's kids? Not necessarily. Because we saw him down at I think it was at I forgot where he was, where they saw him on camera, and he's just complaining to people, get him out of here faster, dickweed.
Yeah.
Because we saw him on camera, and I think Claire was like, I gotta go get him. Because they were in the control room, and they saw him complaining to someone somewhere. But it wasn't in the lab.
Yeah.
I forgot where he was, but he was in front of other people.
I think it was just,
in the park.
Yeah, it was, in one of the lobbies of one of the buildings where they were telling people to gather.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and he's just like, get him out faster, asshole. So, he wants to protect everyone, but it's just kind of I feel like there had to have been some missing scene that I don't know about that was either removed or deleted or something that it just feels like there's just some kind of connection with the characters that I'm missing, where it was one date. Because if the thing is, if it was hey, we were going out for 6 months, Maybe. But literally they said one date, or rather they had Owen be like, that's why you didn't get a second date. And I'm like, so you're being this much of a dick to her over one date. Like, you're not fun Chris Pratt right now. You're coming off as a dick over one date, which, believe me, I'm not saying she didn't ruin the date by having an entire itinerary planned. She totally ruined it, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But does that mean that we have to shit on her for it? Like, yeah, the entire date planned out. Well, why wouldn't you? All right, I don't want this. Okay, that's an adult.
Right.
He didn't come off as an adult when he was just like, you know, eating, what was it? It was eating, hunting, and screwing. Well, I'm sure you know.
Right.
You'd agree with one of those, right? It's kind of like, what?
Like, well,
did you guys have sex
like
then? Because it's cool if you did, but I'm confused.
Like, you have to understand at least one of those, right?
It's kind of like, it's a fun joke when you know that. Like, I will use that joke with people I know. Because that joke is really funny when you know the person. Like Malcolm saying that to his on and off again girlfriend in the second movie. If he said that to her, I'd be like, that's funny. Like, there's a kinship there.
Right.
But like, and also another thing too. Like, I know that Owen can't be Grant. Like, no shit, right? And he shouldn't be. He can be his own person. But it feels like I don't know. Like, it's just. I don't know, just hearing him say that, I was just like, am I supposed to like this guy? Is this supposed to be funny? Because it is funny if they were, it's funny, if they were divorced, maybe it'd be kind of funny. Because again, you know that person.
Right.
But literally, it's like, we went on one date once. Anyway, I'm going to be very overtly sexual with you. Anyway, should we go save those dinosaurs or something? I don't know. It's like, what's happening right now?
But no, Matt.
It's like,
this is why people watch Jurassic Park, Matt. It's not because of the dinosaurs. It's the sexy one-liners.
In my head, it's like, we need more Chris Pratt sexy one-liners. What do you got? My God.
I wonder how Chris Pratt himself felt about those lines. Just like, do I really have to say this, guys? Like,
I think you know what it is.
You're the boss,
I don't know, like,
but.
Well, here's the thing. They filmed this after Guardians of the Galaxy, so maybe there's this idea that, like, oh, we can be funnier with it. But I think that you had to go either one way or the other. Either he had to be super goofy, but still, like, able to control a situation. Or reverse.
Become commando when needed to be.
Or reverse, and not really joking and kind of all in. Because it felt like early on they were trying to go for like, hey, I'm just a fun guy, you know, haha. You can, I'm sure, can relate to one of those things. Bazam, that was a zinger. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's just, hey, I'm in complete control of this situation. Gosh darn it. It's like, okay, Owen, chill out. Like, again, like I said, right, his actions showed that he was always in control of the situation. But he speaks,
maybe not always,
and I'm like,
but
no,
at least he was able to keep his head through most of it.
That's what I mean. I mean, like, in control, as in he was able to keep his head on straight throughout everything.
And stay alive. Right.
And that's what matters the most, right?
Pretty much.
But, yeah, right, in this situation, it does matter. But when he spoke sometimes, I was just like, I do not trust you. Like, I'm sorry, let me explain. I trust you in the sense that, yes, because, no, hear me out. When he would say things like, listen, these dinosaurs trust me, I'd be like, of course they do. I'm in love with you. Like, you know, they just look into his eyes long enough. Of course. But of course, right? But all jokes aside, right? But him going like, hey, all right, I'm in command right now. I'm like, listen, you're in command if you just shut up and be in command, because you can totally take command. Just don't, I don't know, man. It was very hard, and I don't know how to explain it. Again, I think the script really failed some of these actors. And didn't necessarily play up to some of their strengths. not the plot. I'm referring to like just the script itself, like the dialogue.
Yeah.
Especially, again, we'll never forget it. The end. Survival. Like it will. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Although I have to ask you, and I told you to put a pin on this, but I want to take the pin off. I want to ask you. So you had an issue with the after the aviary scene, like after the aviary was breached. Could you, even though I know obviously we don't know dinosaurs up front and personal, could you still talk to me about what we consider you the dinosaur expert here. Could you tell me like what your problem was with that scene after it was breached and then?
Yeah, just the fact that the Tyrannosaurs, because I mean we had this in the third movie too. Like the Tyrannosaurs are attacking the people. Now, granted, I could kind of give it to that one because they're in their nest. You're in their enclosure. So, okay, I guess I could see them being a bit more aggressive. Whereas here, I mean, most pterosaurs that, okay, and maybe I haven't seen newer species or stuff like this, but as far as I've known, pterosaurs are primarily fish eaters. So the fact that they have them going after people like this in a huge flock really doesn't make all that much sense to me. And plus the fact it's like the Indominus just went into the dome, just ate a bunch of them. The helicopter crashes in. They all fly out through the hole like, oh my God, we're under attack, we're being eaten, let's get the hell out of here. They're scared out of their mind. And then they just then they fly out towards the crowds and like, oh look, people, let's start eating them. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I get it.
You
they
think
went for
they
the
would
drama and they went for the action, but I'm like, they're not concerned with food at this point, and we don't. I mean, granted, okay, I'm coming from the standpoint they wouldn't look at people as food. It's like, well, how do you know that? You weren't alive when they were. It's like, all right, fine,
yeah.
But
so you're saying that they would have booked it? They would have been like, well, let's get the fuck out of here, and they would have just bounced. Okay.
Right. They wouldn't have just seen like, oh, a huge crowd of people. We know what that is. That target acquired. You know?
Yes.
I don't think that would have gone
So you don't think, yes, because my whole thing was, if the explanation they used for the Indomitable Snow Rex was basically, hey, it's trying to find its way in the pecking order. So arguably these things had never seen the outside world. So they don't know how big it is, in a sense. Where, like,
right.
If, again, you let an animal out of your house and it's never seen the outside, which if it's a dog, why do you do this? Take it out on a leash. What are you doing? But if it's a dog, it'd be like, whoa. Like, it wouldn't know that there's other houses in these random things that are fucking standing up around it. It doesn't know anything. But you're saying it still wouldn't have attacked the people or tried to eat them, or it would have just, like, it would have been, it potentially would have, like, poked at them maybe, or slammed into buildings. Which one of them did, sort of. Like, one of them did crash, which was kind of funny. I was like, oh, no, it crashed. But they wouldn't have necessarily been as aggressive, arguably. They would have flown away once they discovered that they could. But they went for more of a, no, we got to get these things that are on the ground, which is like, no, it doesn't eat grub. It doesn't.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't think of them as insects it eats.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. One side note, I love when they taser the raptor. It's like, we can't wait to tell Mom about this. You will never tell your mother about this.
Oh my God. Yeah.
There were some scenes, by the way.
And just seeing Owen too. I love their line of "Your boyfriend's a badass."
Oh, my favorite line in terms of comedy. My favorite line was, "We never want to leave you. I will never leave you." No, we mean him.
Him. No, totally him.
Yeah. That fucking killed me.
Claire's just like, they don't love me. And Owen's like, whoa, I mean, it's not really my place to say, but like Zach, just
I mean, does that one even remember you? Does that one even remember you? I thought you were Aunt. I was like, I thought you were Aunt Kathy for 5 years.
Oh my God.
Because like one of them hasn't. Because think about it. If one of them is 10. Then he hasn't seen her for 7 years. He would have been 3.
Yeah.
he legit doesn't even know what her face looks like. The other one was literally like, if he was, by the way, well, it's funny, if one of them was, I don't know, because if one of them is 17, then 7 years ago he would have been 10.
Yeah.
And the other one clearly looked like he was 10, maybe 11.
Yeah.
I love that they never specify the ages by having Claire not even knowing. It's like, you don't know how old your nephews are. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I know that looks bad on her, but again, running a dinosaur park.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everyone's making it seem like it's super easy.
True.
It's not. So that's, to me, that was the funniest scene. One scene that I don't know what to make of it, because I think I loved it, but I didn't love it from a comedy perspective. I loved it from a it's how real life works perspective. You did not like the scene at all, and I think you were like, why was that here? It was the scene with the technicians at the end.
When
by the way, at least
when Larry goes, somebody has
at
to
least
stay
he survived.
behind.
Yes,
That's
but at least
fair.
he lived, though. Yeah.
True.
But here's the thing. So my whole reasoning is I love that scene where he tries to go in to kiss her, and she's like, no, I have a boyfriend. And he's like, oh, well, I didn't, you have not mentioned that. And she's like, but we're at work, which is like, they are, though. Like, they never seemed like they had moments to be like, oh, let's chill in the break room. It's like, no, they're going to explode. The dinosaurs are going to fucking explode. So I don't know, like, I personally have zero problem with that scene from a real perspective. Because, again, when they put, at the end of the movie, just having fucking Claire and Owen standing there, what now?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm just not into that. I'm into actual, like, even though you and I felt hurt when Grant and, I can't remember her name, but they didn't get together, and that's the saddest thing. Ellie. Yeah. When Grant and Ellie didn't get together, it was sad, but at least it was real, but we still felt very sad because, again, like, we thought maybe. But it was so real.
At least it felt like something was possible.
Yes. It felt like something could happen because of how long they worked together and everything and yada yada. Not just, well, you're in the same field and I'm in the same field, and I did hate your guts an hour ago, and I am still just as attractive as you are. That's all true. Also, you helped save my nephews. I did help save nephew 1 and 2. Excellent. Yeah, we should bone for survival. Ha.
Yeah.
By the way, if that line was meant kind of like how, I don't know if you know this, but there was a line from, did you see the original X-Men movie in like 2001?
I may have.
Because it was a very long time ago, but there was one scene with Storm. Halle Berry played Storm, and she said to Toad, she goes, do you know what happens when a toad gets struck by lightning? And he was confused, and she goes, the same thing that happens to everything else. And then she literally fucking hit him with lightning, and he flew out off the fucking, like, yeah. So it sounds like a really terrible scene and really shitty. That line was actually written in one draft that was drafted by Joss Whedon. So imagine how the line was supposed to be delivered. It was supposed to be really funny and tongue-in-cheek and stupid because it's Joss Whedon who wrote the Avengers. Avengers 1 and 2. So, but it was delivered very deadpan, and it was in the final draft with a very serious movie with some jokes here and there, but kind of a more serious, really dumb. So if someone wrote that line as if in a way where Pratt is supposed to be like laughing, like, haha, for survival, am I right? Maybe. Yeah. That's funnier, actually. But in a serious tone in front of the fucking, the light, the way they shown it in and everything, and the two of them standing on both sides, it just did not work well at all. But back to what we were saying before, what I think did work well was that, he got rejected. That's okay. My issue is I do think it might have tried to be comedy, and I don't think it was funny. Yeah. Like, why was it funny? It was real. Oh, it's so funny because he misread the situation. No, it's not funny. It's real. Yeah. Like, if that's the idea, if that's supposed to be comedy, then whoops, missed the mark.
Right.
That's my take on it. If it's meant to be funny,
Yeah.
I don't like it. And you said you wanted it to be kind of potentially removed. I would agree there. But, you know, because the thing, too, by the way, is the reason why it felt real to me is because I never felt any romantic connection between either one of them, because they never built anything romantic between either one of them, which is why it's so funny how you don't build anything romantic between the two leads and these two, and yet this is the one that gets the real ending.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not saying I wouldn't have wanted it to go the other way, where she, like, you know, leans in for the kiss or anything, because it's like, oh, he's being so brave by staying behind. No, I didn't want that either. I just felt like, yeah, it was trying to take a jab at the, I don't know, jab at the kind of weird guy.
Well, because I don't. Okay, that's fair. I thought it was trying to take it, because the thing is, you're right. If they were trying to take a jab at, like, well, he's not Chris Pratt, haha. Like, if they were trying to take a jab at that, that's fair. I understand why you're like, hey. Yeah, it's funny. In my head, all I hear from me is, well, dare I say, I resemble that remark. But
yeah, no, the way you put it, like, you're right. That's more of a real life kind of idea. Like, it's better. It's better to think of it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to admit though, yeah, you're right. It could be also coming for that. Oh, he's a nerd. He has the original Jurassic Park shirt. You fucking nerd. You paid $150 for it. And I'm like, well, It's funny. My first thought was, well, who wouldn't pay $150 for it? Died there, John. I was like, right, that's why.
Yeah.
In their universe, people died there. For us, it's merchandise.
Oh, she even says that too. Like, you really think that's in best taste? He's like, no, I understand. Like, people died. It was horrible. It's like, but he was coming from the place of, like, but John Hammond's vision and stuff like that. It's like, no, I don't wear it out of disrespect. Sorry.
But it's just but it's just so funny because, like, can you imagine if, like, Nintendo Entertainment Systems caused people to, like, get cancer and someone was just like, I want to wear a shirt with a Nintendo on it? It's like, too soon, man.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Like, no, don't wear that shirt. Like, it's not good. Like, it's not a good shirt to wear. That's why I was like, right, that's why people don't buy that shirt, despite the fact that it's $150 or $300 in mint condition. Like, holy shit. Who the fuck didn't die that day is my question.
Yeah.
How was it in mint? But what was I going to... Yeah, so, I don't know. Like, again, from real perspective, I like it. But yeah, if it's supposed to be a jab and stuff like that, or if it's supposed to, I don't know. Like, I guess I would understand. Like, oh, well, that's shitty. I guess. It's just, and again, like, I don't know what you could have done. Again, you could have just not done it at all. But I took it more as like a jab at, the idea of the shitty romance.
Right, the trope itself.
The trope itself. That's what I took it as a jab at. But again, we fucking have the trope display itself in the movie overall, so I don't know how I don't know if maybe it isn't supposed to be a jab at the trope. Because again, it happened throughout the movie. Because I really, other than a few jokes here and there, I don't see how you call it a romantic build-up between Owen and Claire. Like, not even a line of, do you work out? Not even a shitty line. Nothing. Just, he saved my nephews. What am I supposed to do other than have sex with him and make babies? What was my other option? Not having sex with him and making babies? Come on now.
Right.
It's just so... Now, granted, believe me, I'm not going to say it's a step down and less progressive if she's not working at a park in the next movie, because this park killed the people.
Right.
So I understand if she's not a CEO or in a higher position in some... Because to be fair, I'm sure this might have shamed her completely.
Yeah.
So she might be working at a fast food place after this, to be fair. Right?
True.
So I have no problem with her not having a job in the next one. It just seems lazy if she in the next one is like, and I'm pregnant. Just like, oh.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I really don't think that's how they're going.
No. I don't think they're going to be doing that. No, yeah. To be fair, yes. Although if in that time she's like, but we do have our baby at home, it's like, excellent that you were able to be a baby maker. Yeah. One thing I want to say, interesting thing. So I was a fan of as we're kind of wrapping things up here. So there was some good diversity in this movie that I enjoyed, right? Where they made sure that, they were like, hey, like the investor, instead of him just being some white guy in a business suit, let's have him be a foreign investor. Now, some people would say that in itself is a stereotype. So, I mean, again, maybe that's playing a weird, like a fine line, where some people are like, foreign investor is a stereotype. However, there are foreign investors in projects. I mean, there are a lot of Asian foreign investors in, like, the Transformers movies.
Right.
And guess what? The Transformers movies actually do what?
No, the only thing, it's like technically he's still in a business suit, but that's not the point. That's all I was gonna go for.
I love it so much. Well, he's still in a business suit. I immediately become Saitama. Just 3 dots. Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, but some people do say like, oh, hey, that's still a stereotype foreign investor. But again, foreign investors do exist. So, I mean, again, some people would be like, well, every stereotype could exist in one person. And again, we can get into that really weird, area. So I do get it. But like, again, like there are foreign investors for movies, for other types of, real estate and things like that. So there's no reason why he couldn't have come in and this isn't, a really bad stereotype. The thing that I don't think it was a bad stereotype, although some people might disagree with me, because I was happy that we had an Asian commander, I believe a Japanese commander of the fleet that went in to try to stop the indomitable snow Rex, the first fleet.
Right.
The problem is that he dies immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, thanks for not making him African American, but you still introduced, you're like, here's our diversity, and then he dies immediately. And I'm like, cool. Now, I'm not saying, we had to replace Chris Pratt with an Asian lead, although that would be nice. I'm not saying that we had to do that. I'm just saying that this movie had a very interesting take on, like, let's introduce diversity, and then they all died.
Right.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, is it diverse when only the white people live? Because, like, some people are like, oh?
Well, you didn't see much, but I was going to say, Owen's, the other trainer, he didn't die. When he jumps into the log and Blue is trying to eat him, and Owen whistles and drives, Blue away.
You're right. You're actually 100% right. But you know what? We get so little of him.
I thought for sure he was going to die right there.
We get so little of him. It reminded me of Samuel L. Jackson, where I was like, damn, at least Samuel L. Jackson has the ability to be Samuel L. Jackson.
Right. I mean, he got to tell off Hoskins a few times here and there, too. Oh, Barry, that was the character's name. And that's
also, by the way, he's a very big actor. He's a very big actor. So, like, I haven't seen him in anything, but he's been in a lot of stuff, to be fair. So it's not... We're not, like, in any way shitting on him as an actor or saying, like, he's not Samuel L. Jackson. To be fair, not many people are Samuel L. Jackson. I think there's only, like, one guy that's Samuel L. Jackson. But I don't know. I don't know if it's, like, passed on like James Bond or Doctor Who, but I'm pretty sure it's just him.
I mean, it was, like, I thought it was kind of touching, too, the fact that he was, like, he's holding the revolver, and he's like, Blue, I don't want to shoot you. Please don't try and eat me.
I just, know what it is? I think because, I'll be fair here. Because we got very little from almost anyone, it's not like we got less from him potentially necessarily. Yeah. It's just, what it is? Here's the thing, right? It's one of those things where some people say like, oh, all this diversity getting shoehorned in, but they don't necessarily realize that it's not diversity being. It's not true It's not like a diversity you can complain about when. It's literally like, we have these people in here who are then dying, and then it's like, who gets to save today? The white people. Which, again, there's no problem with that necessarily. I'm not sitting here going like, Chris Pratt should have died. And then the main character should have been his trainer that we rarely saw for the next 2 movies. Yeah. Like, that's, like, I'm not saying that, like, that arguably, I think, maybe people are like, I think we may have shoehorned in diversity, because that would be odd. Even though even though his training partner, as an actor, very well accomplished, right?
Yeah.
But it still would have been odd, I will admit. So
I think it would have been
but
cool
to me,
if
though,
Barry had some more scenes with Owen, like if he got to join in on the action too, like it was the two of them. But then again, I guess Barry was supposed to be in charge of the Raptor compound while he was out, but still.
Yes, but then later on, they were on bikes together, and it felt weird that they weren't in more scenes together.
Right.
Like, that's what was really awkward, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, is the actor, is he going to be coming back? Barry's actor going to be coming back for the second movie? Because if he's not, then I guess either I understand why they didn't put him in the movie as much, or if he was like, no, I want to be out because it seems like I'm not getting and again, I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. It's just so strange that, again, like people talk about, they try to shit on the idea of like, oh, this diversity in my movies, but we didn't really get much from this diverse cast. Good diverse cast. We didn't get much from them. Again, even though we got screen time from the brothers, from, Claire, from Owen, we still don't even get much depth in them. That's why I feel like this is one of the weakest movies, if not the weakest, because sure, we complain about 2 and 3 all we want to, but they already had characters that existed that we can be like, oh, that's Grant. We learned a lot about him in the first one. And heck, we even learned more about Ellie in the third one. Shit.
Yeah.
Like, sure, we complain, but from a character perspective, we're like, yeah, it's Malcolm. We learned about him in the first one. And then we get even more about him. Like, I feel like in the second and third Jurassic World, it's not about getting more of them. It's about getting something.
Right.
That's the thing. Where for me, it's kind of like instead of it being like, oh, here's your dessert, here's more character development. For me, it's kind of me sitting back going, I didn't get a meal. I got a kid's meal. I think I got one of those half meals. I didn't realize I wanted the full one. Can I get like the full salad?
But then you got a big gulp for, the action.
Accurate. Because it causes diabetes. No, you're correct though. Yes. No, you're correct though. Yes. Big gulp for the action. In terms of there was a lot of action, to be fair. Yeah. So and of course special effects did not wear thin. Like, they were really good. Yeah. I have to say, I really did feel like they were there. I don't think there was a scene that I felt like was off, where I was like, you're not really there. So I got to admit, the special effects were on point. Yeah. They were beautiful. The way the dinosaur was taken out, I guess it was okay. Again, like, I'm okay with it not escaping and InGen escaping. I just... like, it was one of those things where it's just like the whale was like, and I helped. And it was like, thanks, Mr. Norwald. Goodbye, buddy.
Oh, my God. No, it's more like, all right. We dumped a lot of CGI into this mosasaur. We really need to cash in on that asset. All right. Like, well, because it's funny. At that point, it's like, the Rex and Blue were kind of, like, the Rex was getting hurt a lot at the beginning of that fight, and then they kind of came back and took it out. But really, the mosasaur finishing it off by dragging it underwater and then going for the kill, like, it felt like, it was weird. It kind of felt like, yeah, you know what, that's kind of the only way we're going to stop this thing is if you drown it.
Yeah, and at least it was something they introduced throughout the entire movie. So it's not a true, like, I mean, I guess you can, it's not like it's a completely come out of nowhere plot.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some people could be like, wait, really? But others might have been like, hey, for the win, Goldman. Yeah, like some people could have been like, hey, like, I mean, but technically it was introduced throughout the entire movie. It shouldn't have been completely out of place because literally it's like it's near the water. The thing exists. Now, I guess the idea is why would it want to take it out? That's the thought that I think we have to ask.
I mean, the mosasaur is... That's a big-time predator, so anything by the water, it's like, fair game.
Oh,
that I could
okay.
See. That I'm okay with.
I didn't know about that. That's pretty cool, then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right, then.
Like,
so,
you remember what they were feeding to it, correct?
Yeah, that is true. But
they were feeding it great white sharks.
I know, but I don't imagine it taking down T-Rexes.
I mean, okay, fair. I mean, granted, I don't see a T-Rex getting anywhere near the ocean, but yeah, okay.
There we go. Oh, good points. Good points. And as we kind of truly wrap this up and say goodbye to everyone and wait to get the complaints in our comment section about SJW-ness, as we're waiting for all that, I want to ask you, do you have any other maybe dino tips, anything else about dinosaurs you want to add to this before we officially wrap it up? Maybe anything that you really, really liked, because I feel like we've been shitting on it a bit too much. Anything that really stuck out to you that go, wow, this was the best thing? Because obviously Blue and obviously having Owen training raptors, that is the best thing. In fact, I want that to be expanded upon more as the franchise goes on.
Honestly, I think it does.
It looks like it's going to.
Not 100% sure, but I think it is going to, actually.
Which is good.
Yeah, I mean, I was really cool. I liked that they showed Ankylosaurs. That was cool. And the fact, Endonomus actually knows, it figures out how to get around its armor. It slashes its leg and then flips it over. I really like the ending fight. You know, of course, T-Rex coming out and being the big guns. How could I not enjoy that?
Just having the raptor ride it was just, I pissed myself. I was like, I don't know if people are thinking that this isn't funny, but this is the funniest thing, and I love it. But I loved it.
Funny.
But it's funny.
I didn't actually think about that, or maybe I just didn't notice it the first time, but then you had texted me about that. I'm like, when did that happen? And then I watched the fight, and I'm like, oh, dear God, he's right. It did happen.
You know, because it might look like it's standing elsewhere waiting to pounce, but it's waiting to pounce on top of the T-Rex.
It's on top of him.
The T-Rex is like, honestly, dude, I don't care because this thing needs to be taken down.
Yeah.
God, it's so funny. I think we're just waiting around so Jurassic World, Pacific Rim, Godzilla, King Kong, Cloverfield crossover confirmed?
Oh, dear God. Yeah, I mean,
it's coming.
It may, I don't know. If it felt out of place, I guess I can understand, but I like that the two of them, the Raptor and the Rex kind of had that head nod, and then they kind of both go off their separate ways.
Oh, no. I liked it, but we cannot deny that it's straight out of a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
They were fighting King Ghidorah. We cannot deny this.
Basically. You're right.
That's the thing. That's
all that I could have seen at the end of that is just the three of them, Blue, the Rex, and the Mosasaur, just high five at the end, and then they walk off.
T-Rex starts going into the water. No, you're not Godzilla. You can't do that. Go back into the fucking forest.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm just going to say thank you all so much for listening in, as always. If you're watching this through our YouTube channel, which is Those Guys on the Radio, search that up. Please remember to like and subscribe. Also on our YouTube channel, you can also get other episodes of Friday Night Movies, other Jurassic Park podcasts. This is the only Jurassic World movie out right now. You can also get a Saturday podcast as well, which is different reviews of anime and animation, so i.e. cartoons. You can also check out our wrestling podcast. We have a bunch of different podcasts over at Those Guys on the Radio, and we have Keikaku Corner, which is a weekly news show. We release clips every day. It's a weekly news show where we talk about, weekly news talking about show, where we just kind of, you and I sit around Tristan. We talk about different anime topics, manga topics, video game topics, and even tokusatsu topics as well. Also, by the way, you can get episodes of Keikaku Corner and other reviews like this one over at our Blog Talk Radio account, which you might be listening to us through right now, blogtalkradio.com/thoseguysontherradio. Also, you might be listening to us through our iTunes, which is, you search up Those Guys on iTunes, you can find us there as well. Also, check out our Let's Plays on Those Guys Play. We have a bunch of other gaming content there as well, so search up Those Guys Play. We have fun little skits and other interesting things you can search up on TG Productions YouTube channel. Also, you can go to our Patreon to basically help us be us, and depending on what tier you give to, you can actually become a part of the show. You can either subscribe or kind of rather become a sponsor of the show. You can give us tips and suggestions on what topics to do, either for Keikaku Corner or other Let's Plays and podcast topics, and that Patreon is patreon.com/TG Productions, or you can actually buy merchandise from us off of our main website, tgproductions.net/merchandise, or at our eBay, ebay.com/USR/ThoseGuysRadio. You still there, Tristan?
Yeah.
Good, because it seems like the podcast is about to boot you off. I would like to say good night, everybody. We're getting to that 2-hour limit. I want to say good night, everyone. Take care, and see ya.
Good night, everyone.